Hey guys, welcome back to Over the BS with Blair and Sadé. I am Sadé.
I am Blair.
And we're so excited to welcome you to season 2 of our podcast. We're gonna ring the alarm. We missed you guys so much.
I miss you guys, and I have to say that, Sadé, I've missed you so much.
I know, I missed you too, heart.
You know what? But it was good that we took a break from each other. Not like because we weren't like tired of each other, but we needed like a work break, if that makes sense.
Definitely. I think, you're able to take that time to breathe and I hate to say, I'm like recuperate, but also I think when you take that sort of mental break, you can flow better with ideas when you're trying to brainstorm, and everyone needs time to replenish. We all
Period. Do. And we talked about that.
And if we've learned anything from 2020, it's that you need breaks, okay? Because we're over 2020, okay?
Girl, I know it's been a month, but everything that's happened within this last month is ridiculous.
It feels like it's been 10 years.
10 years. All the things that have happened, I feel like would not have happened as much in like 2019. But 2020, it's like, let's make 3 deaths happen in a day.
Seriously, I feel like God's like, let me reintroduce y'all to the Old Testament, because some of y'all have been forgetting. You guys, it has been crazy. There have been so many high-profile deaths, which is just horrible. Then we've got the entire West Coast on fire.
Period.
Period. We had an earthquake.
Girl, I didn't even feel it.
You didn't? I felt it.
Feel this one. This last one I didn't, but girl, I will never forget the one from 4th of July last year, though. Woo!
But this one, I think, wasn't this one bigger? It was 4.6.
It was, and that's the crazy part. I was literally, don't judge me, I was social distancing, but I was at a restaurant outside.
Maybe that's why it was harder to notice.
I was on
because,
pavement.
If you're outside, if there's cars going by, sometimes you can't tell with like the ground shaking because there's a semi or just traffic in general. Mm-hmm. LA is so busy.
Yeah.
Wait, it was kind of late. You were out.
I was out, girl. It was like 11.
It was like 11:45. Okay, I remember.
Girl, let me tell you something. I was in the streets.
You were in the streets, and I was in my bed praying. No lie. So girl, I
was praying over some fried pickles.
Shut up. So when it hit, I was just like, Jesus, what are you trying to tell me? I was like, oh.
Girl, we don't deserve this.
We don't deserve this. And then there's so much.
But there's good in the bad. There's good in the bad. We're gonna balance it. But we have to start with, can we please kick it off with RBG? Because this hit me to the core. Because she did so much for America and for women. Like, she was a women's activist, and the ultimate, when I think of like a queen, I think of her.
Yes.
And she went through so much just this last year. I mean, she broke a hip last year and like fell. Like, she was a survivor and a fighter.
Literally such a great woman, so inspiring, so like, I feel like saying the word strong for her is great. I feel like strong sometimes can have a negative connotation, but she's literally such a superhero. She was defying odds, throughout her entire career. She made sure that, she was breaking barriers for women and really advancing women's rights. And to lose someone like that, just seeing her alone, she's such a symbol to that sort of movement. And overall, for people who are disadvantaged in this country, she is such a symbol. So to hear of her passing, it was devastating. And I went immediately from sad to pissed off when Senator McConnell's like, within 2 hours of us getting her notice that she has passed, he releases a statement about her death. And at the end of it is saying, oh yeah, and Trump's going to decide his nominee. We need to vote on that to fill in a missing justice now. It's like, she's not even in a casket, and this is what we're doing. This is what you guys really care about. You put it in the same statement.
Yep.
You have zero
Sadé,
regard.
There's a reason for this. When something similar happened to Obama last year, he could not make a choice. They were like, nope, until we find out who the next president's going to be, Obama couldn't choose the Supreme Court justice. Now we're in, it's the other way around with different political parties, and we're, it's just the hypocrisy of it all. That's what really bothers me. But the reason why they're doing this, it's cheating. They feel like they're going to lose. There's, you only do those digs, you only do all that stuff when you feel threatened. So all I can tell people to do is vote, because now it's about reproductive rights. That's the big one. But you guys, like, there's so
And
many
today's
things that can be
National
overturned.
Register to Vote Day, right?
Yes, today is Register to Vote Day.
Register
So
to Vote
please
Day. You
register
might
to
be
vote.
hearing
It
this
literally
tomorrow,
takes,
but either way, vote.
yes, it takes literally 2 minutes to do it online. I timed it because I've had to help people do it. You guys, please vote. And this is more than that. It's about if you need to be covered by the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, which is what it's really called. But the Republicans use Obamacare to make it negative. But that's the thing. A lot of people voted against Obamacare, didn't want it, but they are covered by it. A lot of Trump supporters are. So it's very important that you guys really look at the issues. And for me, I don't know about you, Sadé, in voting this year, but I'm looking at COVID. COVID is like my number one thing about voting.
It's the determinant for everything. If you really think about it, how has this administration reacted to every issue that has happened, which is usually coming somewhere out of COVID? And we've also had 2 other pandemics, if you want to count the, West Coast on fire or the civil unrest. But all of that counts as to looking at how they reacted to all of this, really, in the midst of another pandemic, which all of those situations are exacerbated because of COVID.
Yep.
Which
and remember, this is
Trump knew.
This is Trump's America. People need to remember that when they go to the polls, that this is going on, not because Biden is running, because this is what we're in, especially the civil unrest that we're in right now. And Breonna Taylor, do you see how they're boarding things up right now?
Yeah, that city is under a state of emergency because they're about to actually decide and declare whether the cops are being arrested. So that doesn't look like a good sign. That means they are preparing to make that, to me, that looks like they're not going to do anything about it. And once that comes out, they want to make sure they have some sort of plan in place so that people can't protest. I put that with quotations because they're just trying to make sure they can limit your rights however way possible.
Yeah.
It's sick.
I just feel like our country is going in reverse.
Yeah, and that's why I think it's going to be a really big problem if we have, I believe her name is Amy Coney Barrett. Is it Amy Coney Barrett? Yes, I'm looking at her right now. She is Trump's favorite right now. I don't even know her, but I'm over her. She has these strong conservative leanings when it comes to women's rights, literally the opposite of RBG. And I was looking at her age, and she's like 48. So if she becomes a justice, she'll be the youngest, which means she'll be serving the longest. And that's not the only thing she's against. She's against healthcare, like you already mentioned. She's against Obamacare.
Yep.
Like, we'd be taking so many steps backwards.
Yeah. Shout out to the Republicans who are actually standing their ground and really, choosing the country over their party. Because listen, I've never been a fan of Susan Collins. Okay. But she thinks it's important that the next Supreme Court justice is chosen by the next president, which kudos to standing up against those who it's like, a popularity contest within your own party. And, Mitt Romney did the same thing. So I think it's very important to really, really, really look at everything in perspective when people vote. And please register. I'm telling you, it is this election is probably the most important election in history.
It really is. If you look at everything that has happened, the administration has reacted poorly. Trump knew about COVID. He downplayed it. Just recently, I want to say a week or 2 ago, reporters discovered a letter that was supposed to be sent out stating that all households in the U.S. were going to get 5 masks. And it was never sent. And that's strange. Why it was never sent out, which means they stopped that program or whatever rollout they were going to have.
You know why they did that? Because it would have meant that the pandemic was real and that Trump supporters would have been realizing what's really going on. Oh, it's just so sad what's going on right now. So sad.
So
we got political as hell. Went from over the BS.
Make sure you guys vote.
It went from over the BS to CNN real quick.
Sadé and Blair, your over the BS news network pundits.
Anna Navarro ain't got ish on me. Okay, but also, living in California, these fires that are out of control, literally. I don't even know the status of these fires. I just remember last week or the week before that there was a yellow tint in the air and there was a lot of smoke. and
Yellow orange though.
it smelled like I should not be outside.
Exactly. No, I opened the window and it smelled like smoke. It was so bad. We had the warnings on our phone. So I am closer to the Bobcat fires. For anybody who's listening, if you don't know where that is, that's more in the San Gabriel Valley. So literally, I look out my window and I can stare straight out to the canyon in the mountains, and I could see like flames. I could see smoke. I would say it's cleared up in the past few days to a week or so, but prior to that, literally, if I looked out, it was so smoky I couldn't see it at all anymore, and that was super alarming. I went out to run errands once, and I left and went in the opposite direction. Suddenly, the air was a little bit cleaner. There wasn't any ash on my car, but as soon as I got back, was driving towards my house, it looked like I was driving into a snow cloud, a dust cloud. It was an ash cloud, really. That's what it was. So you guys, we need to pray for the firefighters out there who are trying to contain it. Literally, they say there are millions of acres now burned at this point because Oregon, Washington also burning. There was a fire-nado.
Girl,
what the heck?
I thought that was, when I saw that, I thought it was fake.
That's when I was like, this is some Old Testament. We have a fire-nado?
You know what really got me?
What are you going to do with a fire-nado?
You can't even do what you would do in a tornado. It's like double the effect. In a tornado, you're supposed to go in the basement or the bathtub with the mattress. But if you do that during a fire-nado, what is it called? A fire-nado?
It's going to like...
All you can do is run at that point or have a big ass hose. I don't know what to say.
That might work.
That's going to be a movie.
So what else were you going to say? You're going to bring up something else.
Oh, I forgot.
These natural disasters.
Just the natural disasters. Oh, but I was going to say is that it's important also to use the climate and the climate change. That should also be in your thought process when you're voting this year, because
which someone doesn't believe exists, really. Climate change is not a problem. Like,
I just want to know, like, did everyone go to school? Because, like, I remember science being a very important subject in elementary, middle school, high school, and college. You can talk to my degree. And it sounds like some of y'all need to get a degree, because the science stuff, not believing in science and saying that COVID is fake and climate is fake.
Fake where? I don't get it.
That's my degree.
It's strange to me that they would not believe in something like COVID. Honestly, I think some people, they need to visibly see something. Like, if they cannot see a molecule, I guess it doesn't exist. If they cannot see an atom, it doesn't exist.
But that's how selfish people are. It's like it has to happen to you in order for you to believe it. And that's sad to me. There have been people whose family members have passed away from this. Like, this is very serious.
Like, my family member, actually, I was just talking to my mom earlier today, marks 6 months for my aunt.
I'm so sorry, too.
And it's, like, so stressful, and you have, like a mix of emotions when I think about it, because I'm just, like, so upset that nothing's being done about it, upset knowing that it could have been prevented and she could still be here. You get stressed out because it feels like it's out of your hands. Like, all I can really do is wear this mask. And when I do that, that's to protect someone else. That's not really even protecting me. Like, and it just feels like you're stuck. All of us feel like this.
Yeah. And just keep, I know it's hard, especially going through something and losing a loved one, but please just continue to remind people what this virus has done. I don't know if you've tweeted or anything. I'm not saying like make this like a promo, but I'm saying please continue to spread that this is not fake, that this is not a fake virus, because that is what certain people, Trump, bitch ass, is making it believe. I don't care. I'm going to say how I feel. I don't care.
You should.
I was not going to try to get political and say which side I was on, but you know, my gay black ass. I don't have no time. And it's gay rights too. If you have a gay friend or a gay family member, make sure you're voting, because a lot of things are going to be overturned with this new Supreme Court. And also it's important to vote because we can overturn the Senate.
Hello. No, seriously. Vote. Learn about the issues that you care about. Also really pay attention to your local election. That's also really important, because those local elections affect who is appointed to look over your police department. You know, those sort of things, like the DA, who's your district attorney, those sort of things affect who's looking out for you at the local level. Just as important, okay?
Period. I don't know what it is, but it's like when I have this pen in my hand, it makes me feel like I have like I'm the shit. I'm just like, okay. Okay, I already know you've met him, and I didn't get the chance to meet him.
Yes.
Chadwick Boseman, his death, woo, girl, shook me to my core.
Another one.
Because it's not even just that he died, it was how he died and how secretive it was. And I understand why it was secretive. That's not what I'm, trying to announce here, but just the fact that he was suffering, but still working at the same time inspired me in so many ways. And that just showed how he really did embody everything that Black Panther meant. He really did. He's the one that took over that role. That role didn't take over him.
Exactly. No, he is that hero, honestly. Because when you think about, somebody knowing that they've had this diagnosis for, I believe, about 4 years, and to film these movies, right? So you're in these major blockbuster movies. When you train for them, that is taxing. When you go through a media blitz on these press tours, they literally spend hours a day in one room talking to press, just on end. And if you think about someone being in pain that whole time, like literally dying, yet he was always present. He always showed up. You watch his interviews, he was never rude. He always answered the questions, and he was alert, because we're reporters. We've been there. You can see when someone checks out or when someone's glazed over, but no, he was excited to be there, and he respected the roles that he played, and he did such a good job doing them. He made sure every role that he took, it meant something. If you notice that, every role was a dynamic character that really changed society in some way or another. And I think to go out as Black Panther is probably, one of the most amazing things I think he could have done. Honestly, business aside, it was the biggest grossing movie ever at the time, $1 billion. But aside from that, the cultural and social impact of that role. And honestly, people can say, oh, it's because it was a movie about a Black hero. No. There have been so many, but the way that he embodied that role, the way the directors, everybody in that crew made sure that that film at its core could mean so much to Black people is unmatched. And I feel like that is why so many of us took it so hard. Even if you met him or you didn't, for 5 seconds or no seconds, you just saw him on screen. It's finding out that your hero was gone. Somebody who seemed invincible, somebody who inspired so many kids, so many that we could finally see ourselves in.
Yes, and can relate. When you see someone that looks like you with that skin tone, it just brings out another different
movie. And just like the honor between all of the characters. So that really struck me too. Like, his interactions with his sister, his interactions with the female army, okay?
Yeah. Okay? He respected women. Like, that's what his character was all about. And it's so crazy, Shada, because I thought, like, when I saw 50 Cent lose all that weight years ago, I was like, oh, it's a film role. And I thought the same thing with Chadwick. I'm like, oh, I didn't even think like he was sick. I was just like, oh, he literally is just getting ready for a film.
Yeah.
And to learn that so many people were making fun of him in his final days and just making rude comments on Twitter, it just goes to show that you really, really, really don't know. You don't know what anyone is going through behind the scenes. And it's better to be an ally and to check on someone than to assume and to judge them.
Yes, 1,000%. I totally agree with you. And I think another issue to some degree is I get when it comes from a place of concern too, but sometimes it can even be toxic online when people start making the comments like, oh, why is he so skinny? Because that also, we're in this time where, it's hard coming from you all over your social media. You have people asking you, why are you so skinny? Why are you this? Why are you so that? And you'd wonder, would you ask him that to his face? Yeah. If you weren't behind this screen. So I even get when it comes from a place of concern for some fans, but you've got to really consider why you're really asking. Because I think to some degree, people are asking for their own selfish gain to know celeb news, or, if it really came from a place of care, you might, not bother asking that. Obviously, it's not information he's making privy to the public. I do agree that I saw the drastic change, and I was shocked when he first put out that video, and I was like, oh my goodness, he looks very, slim. I was like, very different, but I was just like, I hope everything's great. Maybe it's a role. And then, of course, we all thought it was a role when Defy Bloods came out. I was like, oh, that's what's going on. But then this came as a complete, it blindsided me. But you know what? I really would say he has some respectable people in his circle, because the few that knew didn't, no peep. TMZ couldn't get this story.
No, he had really good people surrounding him. And that also showed me a lot.
You need to have a good circle small. Yeah. Who cares about you?
Yeah. And I think that's a message too. There's so many messages within his death, not necessarily, obviously it wasn't positive, but it's important to sometimes look at things in a brighter way. Yeah. And that told me a lot about society too, about there are people who are loyal to you and that are going to be true to themselves and to you. And it's just important to keep people around you that love you and aren't using you, whether how much money you have or the way you look or the opportunities that you could provide someone. Yeah. Really, 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 really make sure that you're spending time with people that are there for you.
And have your best.
Big Sean said something in his new album, and it said like quality people deserve quality time. And that Big Sean, if you haven't heard that Detroit 2 album, it's therapeutic.
I was about to say, I still haven't listened. You told me to listen to it a while ago. I still haven't.
It's my favorite album this year. It's therapeutic because he's going through a transformation, and it's therapeutic and it's spiritual, and it's Big Sean, but it's on another level. It's mature. But there's so many signs. What's my purpose? It's just a bunch of messages, but he talks about his purpose, and if someone else's purpose becomes your purpose, it's no longer your purpose.
Your purpose.
Yeah. So it's important. Yeah. So that's, oh girl, that just gave me, I'm gonna have to listen to the album right after this. But yeah, it's just important to really, really, really surround yourself with people that deserve the quality that you deserve, that they deserve.
Yes, I totally agree. And I want to get your thoughts on this, because the day that within the hours that he passed, Black Panther 2 started trending.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that? Because I have my thoughts. I want to hear yours, though. I want to hear yours first.
Well, I think my boyfriend, he says the same. He doesn't like that stuff. He doesn't like, that's one thing about Hollywood. He doesn't like that sometimes he feels like studios take advantage of death. And he did make a good point in that regard. I support there being a Black Panther 2. Obviously, I think his sister should take on the role, but I don't think that's a conversation that we should be having so quick. I think that we should honor him and not look forward to something after we lost its biggest component.
Yeah.
I think it's important to kind of sit there. I agree with you
so much.
I just hope that the studio is really taking the time and not trying to take advantage. I'm not saying I don't Disney. I'm not saying anything bad about Disney. I'm just saying that I hope that overall this isn't a ride and they're taking advantage of it. I hope that they really show people what the movie did for Black people. Yeah. That's what it's about for me. It's a cultural, like you said, the social.
Exactly. So I feel like it needs to be done and executed with care just as much as the first movie, if not more. Because if it's all about the dollars, honestly, if they're gonna think about it that way, at the same time, this is Disney's like biggest like franchise to take care of at the moment.
Yeah.
It's like everything else is already hanging in the balance, but it's completed. Like Black Widow's completed, all that stuff. But Black Panther 2, I think they're supposed to start production in like March.
Yeah.
And all of that is up in the air. But I just remember seeing Black Panther 2 trending, and it hurt my soul. I was a little ticked to be like, who started this? Who even bothered to mention Black Panther 2? Because obviously for something to trend, that means multiple people are tweeting about it. And I'm just like, who could be that self-serving in a moment like this to bring up the sequel movie? And of course, as a fan, you may wonder in the back of your mind, what's going to happen to Black Panther 2? But why would you lead with that of all the things? It's almost like a disregard for the human life that created life, that gave life to this movie that you say you love. So I'm looking forward, obviously, to another film. I would want them to take the utmost care and time and I believe I read somewhere that a lot of people in that production team are grieving, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're just like on
Need a
a
break.
hiatus right now, which is.
I think it's important for people to remember. I think living in Hollywood, we have like, maybe they're not like A-list celebrities, but we do have celebrity friends or know people that work with celebrities.
Yeah.
That these celebrities are at our disposal for entertainment, for anything. They're all human beings at the same time. There's a lot of people that are famous that don't want to be. It's like, okay, I came here to be an actor. You know, I don't want all this. That's why there's so many people, celebrities that you don't know anything about behind the scenes, because they don't want that. They want you to only judge them based on their performance. And I think that it's important to remember that these are lives. It doesn't matter if they're your favorite artist, your favorite singer. It does not matter. If you're thinking, oh, he died, what they're going to do with Black Panther 2, you really, really, really need to look at yourself in the mirror, because it's just an entertainment. Maybe someone that lives in freaking, I don't know, Hoboken or in the middle of nowhere. I don't know. I don't know. But I'm saying maybe you don't care, but you need to really look at, because that's really crazy. That's weird to me. It's
that's
weird.
why I was like, how is that the first thing that could come to your mind? There is a life that has been lost.
And the first thing you're thinking of is, what about the next movie? Like, you're weird.
That's where I get sort of weirded out by the whole Hollywood culture, because I feel like even fans almost use information about their celebrities as some sort of currency for themselves. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like stans have this almost, you know, when they get to stans, you know, super fans, stalker fans, shout out to Eminem, I feel like sometimes they can cross the line and get to the point where it's like, this celebrity almost works for me because I am making them famous as their fan. So like, no, you need to tell me about your new album. No, I should know who you're dating. I should know where you live and be able to send you a gift, because I'm crazy, but I might be in the box. I don't know. But, you know, I feel like sometimes they cross that line, and you see it on Twitter where you see these clashes between stan groups, and it's crazy. I think somebody even brought up poor Nicki, for some reason, is dragged into every conversation about female rappers. Someone could be talking about Meg, and then they'll just bring up another stan will jump in to bring in Nicki, and it's just like, you guys are fighting over these people that they're humans, and yes, everyone has great artistry. That's why you wouldn't be a fan without being devoted to their great craft. But at the same time, they're humans. I think it's weird when the attacks start to become personal, like of the essence of a person. It's just so strange.
You got a little kid who's in middle school trying to argue with Diddy on Twitter, and it's like, what is happening? Like, you guys
dial it back, reel it in, pack it up, go home,
pack it up,
hang it up, flat screen.
Ooh, I had to get that in there. Because that's a whole nother discussion. One day when we have female rapper on this podcast, we're gonna have a conversation. But speaking of female rap, what did you think about WAP? And were you offended as a woman?
I think that should be enough to say that I'm pro WAP.
I'm not going to ask you any more questions, because we already know the answer.
Macaroni in the pot. Honestly, right after that song came out, like, randomly, I just be walking by my house, like, macaroni in the pot. Like, okay.
Ew, it's so gross. Oh my God.
But honestly,
I'm so gay.
Stop. Trust me, you don't want the opposite, okay?
No, okay. But honestly, I wouldn't know. Dry, wet, don't know. Wouldn't know. Don't want to know. Honestly, but every time I make pasta, I do that, and I'm like, this is what Cardi was talking about, babe.
Stop. Honestly, though, I think, you know what? I know some people think, oh, the song's aggressive, these lyrics, whatever. But like, God. This is the first time lyrics like this have ever come out. So like, what are you surprised about?
I used to throw it on the shit.
Like, let women own the agency over their own bodies. I think it's really funny that somehow a lot of men or even male rappers like Offset are jumping into Offset and say how they don't like this song and how it's degrading. Yet you don't say that about the male songs that are about those same female parts. Like, I don't. Where does that come in? It's almost as if it matters when it comes from women owning their own bodies. So totally pro WAP. I enjoyed the memes. That was my favorite part. The
Kylie Jenner meme was my favorite.
Oh my God. I
With
know.
the door closing, and then Annalise Keating.
I was about to say the Annalise was the best. Oh my gosh! In The Office, did you see that Viola Davis, the actress who plays Annalise Keating? She shared the clip, and then she shared the picture that who did this.
Yeah.
So they put her face
amazing.
on Kylie Jenner's body, and it was amazing.
I loved WAP. I loved Megan's verse in particular because she wrote hers. I know that for a fact. But everything else I really liked too.
I loved it. I thought it was so. I don't care. People are like, it's so aggressive. I'm like, no, it's
I don't
fun.
care.
And
I'm happy that shade just went right over your head.
Wait, what? Did I miss it? Wait.
Never mind. Not to you. But also before when you said oh no, my favorite part of WAP was that Big Mac truck right in this little garage. I'm like, okay, get it, Cardi.
Oh, okay.
I'm happy.
I thought overall I liked the video. I thought it was almost flawless except for a segment in the middle.
Tell me.
I could really do without Kylie.
Oh yeah, me too.
Because I thought I could just do without because all she did is walk in the center and gave us nothing. Yeah, I feel like all the female rappers at the end were killing it and they had like 2 seconds each. And I feel like Normani was giving, okay?
Girl, you know if you gonna have if you invite Normani to anything, whether it's the Fenty show or your music video, she's gonna slay.
She killed that. I was like, could she have a longer bit, maybe in the center? But whatever, it was Cardi's video, so Cardi is the one who probably okayed it.
And I want to know when that Normani album is coming because we've been waiting for too long.
She's doing too many collabs, okay?
No, does that count as a collab when you're just dancing?
I don't know, but she's made a lot of
she's been
making a lot of popping up a lot of little things here and there. So I don't know. Hopefully it'll be out sooner than later.
It needs to be because I'm starting to forget.
Don't worry, she's waiting just right. She's waiting right for the moment when everyone forgets. And she
just needs to have something. I don't even care if it's an album. She just needs to drop something soon, I feel like before the end of the year.
Just something, yeah.
But hopefully she's in, because they shot the Fenty 2 show, like the second one. So maybe we'll see her again. Oh my God. Yeah. Speaking of celebrities keeping things secret when they don't owe anything to us, which they don't, because if I was a celebrity, I wouldn't know who y'all are talking to on Twitter like that. But Niecy Nash.
Hello.
Talk about a surprise. Okay, the girl got divorced and married in the same year?
I know. I said, okay. So
she left the dick for the WAP. She left the dick for the WAP.
Macaroni in the pot. That's what she ordered. She ordered some macaroni.
I didn't even know she was bisexual.
I didn't either. Apparently, I guess that was her technically coming out.
Do you think she was cheating? Do you think she had an affair?
I don't know. Apparently her wife was on the show Claus, I think, as a musician or something, or made an appearance. So I was like, I guess that's when they met.
Ooh.
I don't know. In celebrity world, I feel like celebrities also tend to move fast.
Yeah.
Or at least it's perceived as fast because they'll break up with someone else and then they're already like engaged to another person. And I don't know if that's just because we only see their life literally in weird snapshots.
I love her. I'm here for it. I just want people to be happy. Live in your skin and be happy with who you are. I just didn't know. I was in complete shock because I didn't know she was bisexual. I didn't even know she was going to get married that quick.
I think that was the moment everybody found out was that moment. Because I think she said like love wins and had like a rainbow emoji. And you just saw her wedding photo. So I was like, oh, okay. She's doing her and she's happy, living her best life. I'm like, go ahead.
Go ahead, Niecy. I love her.
Enjoy it. And she's having the best pandemic out of any of us.
Girl, she is. She's having a good old honeymoon.
She got a ring. I know. Macaroni in the pot.
Get some. I hate the radio version. The what and gushy.
So yeah, it's highly
not gushy.
Edited. It's edited.
When I think of gushy, I think of something like exploding.
Gushy.
Like a gusher.
I know. I was thinking of gushers too, or it makes me sound like I don't know. It makes me think.
Then maybe it's pretty good.
Also makes me think of like a pillow cushion, cushy, gushy.
Good.
Which is actually not
No,
very,
no.
it does not work.
Cushy and gushy are two different.
But that's what makes me think of when I think of cushy.
No, I don't listen.
But also gushers.
Oh my gosh.
Those were good throwback candies.
And then TikTok. We got to end it on a TikTok note. What do you think about this TikTok, man? I'm not a TikTok fan. So I don't really care.
Like, I have TikTok. I have my pros and cons for TikTok. Like
you mean white creators taking everything that Black people do and making it viral?
I hate that.
Oh, okay.
I hate that. Of course I hate that part. I also hate that I feel like the younger generation tends to praise all of these. There's a lot of colorist ideals on there. There's a lot of appropriation going on. There's a lot of adapting the Black scent and all of these sort of aesthetics of it's like happening again just on TikTok. But all of these, aspects of Black culture to be cool while you're white on TikTok. And that bothers the hell out of me, aside from taking Black people's dances and then making millions of dollars off of them.
There's two things I really hate about TikTok. But that's on straight. I'm sorry, finish your point. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say that's on straight TikTok. So the more you're on TikTok, you discover other sides of TikTok. Mm-hmm. So there's straight TikTok, then there's like alt TikTok, which is like the really weird, strange content. It's primarily anything you see on straight TikTok tends to air to that side of. So, and straight TikTok is what you would consider mainstream, which is
straight like heterosexual straight.
It's sort of that meaning, but it mainly pertains to saying like heterosexual teens who dance. That's where it's like the overarching idea is, because alt TikTok and elite TikTok is where you'll find more of like the alt girls, more of the people who are consider themselves eccentric, also more inclusive. It includes like LGBTQIA, it's people of color, it's everybody is more like alt elite if they make kind of strange offbeat content versus mainstream I dance and I'm pretty and everyone loves me because I'm a white teenager content.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Sounds like I'm not going to be going on TikTok more than I already don't.
But there's a lot of, the thing is that I found is there are a lot of incredible creators on the app. And
there are.
They're the ones who aren't getting any credit. I feel like Bomanizer is probably the one, and besides Tabitha Brown,
I love him.
Discovered and see, that's what I'm saying. That kind of content, I'm so glad.
He's so cute.
I'm so glad he got his flowers and is getting his flowers because he's incredible. Tabitha Brown, another person who is absolutely incredible on the app, but there are so many more people like them that don't get chances to flourish, while we have a million white kids doing the same exact thing with, let me be honest, less talent because they're just reiterating other people's dances poorly and getting paid millions. While Tabitha is so original and
she deserves everything.
And Bomanizer is incredibly creative.
And girl, I felt that shade. That shade I felt that shade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, but I mean, like,
she said untalented.
It's So I'm on the app because I really enjoy seeing these like smaller creators of color and minority creatives. Just they're so funny and they're so innovative and their sense of humor is incredible. So I enjoy seeing that. I also share my own interview clips on there, and kids see.
Sadé, would you like to plug your TikTok?
Huh?
Would you like to plug your TikTok?
And this is the point where I shamelessly plug my TikTok. You guys can find me at Sadé TV. Simple, SADE TV on TikTok. We are wrapping up the show basically, so I'm going to drop the rest of my socials. I am on Twitter, Instagram, and basically Twitter, Instagram at Sadé A Spence. That's where you can find me.
What I was gonna say, the reason I wasn't trying to wrap it up, but we are. But I was just giving you a shout out. But there is one in TikTok. I forgot what their name is, but I go on there probably like once a week to watch all their stuff. Pretty much. Have you ever seen the show To Catch a Predator?
Yeah.
Where they go and like it's like wannabe child molesters and all this stuff.
Do you remember the name of the account? Because I've seen a few accounts that they're on this.
I don't remember, but pretty much this girl just goes and finds them and exposes them on TikTok and gives their name and their license plate. And she has a security guard and she calls the cops. It's literal. It's everything I could ever want.
But see, that's what I mean. Like, you don't even know what you can expect. There's people on there making their own television series on there about themselves or creating their own shows. And it's just so innovative to see them doing this and
so good.
Just on their phone. I'm just like,
because
give that person a contract. Give them a contract.
Exactly. And I could literally just watch, like, To Catch a Predator was gold TV. It's like, okay, we're going to catch these sickos and we're going to expose them. But it's like key level entertainment. It's like, okay, you have a grown ass 25-year-old girl playing you, telling you she's 13, and then you're going to leave. And then when she tells you that she has orange juice, you're going to stay. Okay, sir, we're going to get your ass and you're going to get locked up. And that's why I love this girl. I don't know what her name is. And then guess what? This is the best part. There's times where she will catch someone and they'll try to speak Spanish.
No.
And guess what? She can speak Spanish.
So she's like, oh, okay.
So they'll be like, they'll talk to her in English. And then she'll be like, no, aren't you here because that Gatorade was for me? You thought that I was a 13-year-old girl. And he's like, oh, no habla español. And she's like, oh, because I can't speak Spanish, but she'll say something and then it's over. I'm like, bitch, give her an award. So where is the FBI?
No, we need to have the TikTok awards. We need to create the TikTok awards, give these kids their flowers and honor them in the best way possible. It might be coming soon to you guys from Over the BS. We can have our own TikTok award show.
Yes. And you guys can find me on TikTok, I almost said Spotify. On TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter at I am Blair T. And make sure you guys follow us on Instagram at Over the BS Show.
Yes, and if you're listening on Apple, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, don't forget to leave us a review and please, give us 5 stars, but also don't forget to fill it out. Give us some more of a review so we can hear, what you guys want to hear and what we can improve on because we're doing this for you guys. We love you.
Yes, and I know that you guys are listening to this and still aren't going to leave us in a review. So I'm going to say it again. You guys, listen, it literally takes minutes. Can you please, if you're listening on your iPhone, which I know you are, I hope you're enjoying the new iOS 14 update. You need to go leave us a review, give us 5 stars, please. And just tell us what you think about the show. What do you want us to share? But no, for real, please, because it helps us. We need to get more listeners because we're growing. Our numbers are awesome. We have over 7 countries that listen to us.
I think it's more.
Are we at 7 right now?
I think it's more.
Shout out to Ireland because they're like the newest one.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to Ireland. Shout out to Israel. I remember Israel. I remember Guyana.
England. Hey.
Australia. We love you guys.
Canada. Wait, did they say A? A Canada.
Is that what you're about to do?
It's A, and I love that word already. A. I just do it in more ghetto.
Thank you guys again so much for just listening and sticking with Over the BS. It's our 2nd season. We have so many amazing more topics to discuss, and we're so glad you guys are here to listen to it. As always, I'm Sadé Spence.
And I'm Blair Thompson.
And we're Over the BS. See you guys later.
Bye.